unlike most of my other videos, this should be a quick one. What I'm going to do here is I'm going to change out the Xbox One console, the front LED on the front of the console. The Xbox One has 0804 sized LEDs, and this is a white super bright LED. And I'm going to replace it with a green 0603, which is a smaller LED. It's smaller, so it's a little more difficult to solder, but it's easier at the same time, and I'll explain kind of what I mean there. But so first thing we're going to do here is remove the old LED, and we start just like we did with the, if you've seen any of my other videos about this, I did a controller swap, I did a connect swap, LED swap. It's the same basic idea. We put a little flux here so we don't burn the board, and then we just flood with solder. We're going to put as much solder as we can on either side. Sometimes they pop right off, other times we more or less just melt the thing off, but we'll see how this one goes here. The last one I did, the connect one, took some doing. There we go. Alright, so that wasn't too bad. So that came right off. And we don't need to store these LEDs. I don't usually save them. They're pretty large, and there's not too many applications for LEDs that are that big. Tend to like the smaller 0603s. Okay, so once we have the LED off, we're just going to clean the pads up a little bit, mostly taking a lot of the excess solder off. So we flatten them out as much as we can, which can be difficult. If you keep cleaning your soldering iron and coming back to it, it'll take a little more solder off each time. But that should be good enough. All right, so now we're going to take our new LED. The direction, the polarity of the LED, we have a triangle shape. You can see it right here. The triangle always points to negative, so in this case, negative is the right-hand side, positive is the left-hand side. So we're going to take our LED strip here. This should be my green ones, and drop that into place. Let's see here. Now these green LEDs use a T symbol, and the bottom of the T is negative. I've said this a few times, but basically the direction that the LED is pointing, regardless of the symbol, whether it's a triangle, whether it's a T. So in this case, the bottom of the T is pointing towards negative. And we try to get that in place as much as possible. And usually I like to hold these in place by hand. So all I'm doing here is trying to line it up. It doesn't have to be perfectly lined up because it is smaller than the prior LED. There's a diffuser directly in front of it, so you would never be able to tell whether or not an LED is crooked anyways. Alright, so here we go. So we want to tack down one side. I usually like to use a longer fingernail. In this case it's my index finger, and apply pressure right in the center, and then solder one of the sides. Basically that's referred to as tacking it down, and that looks good. I'm left-handed here, so I tend to do everything on the left-hand side, but we're just going to do the other side the same way. And we don't even really want to, I said this before, we don't want to touch the LED. We want to more or less just touch the pad, which will then heat up to the LED. Just going to put a little more solder on the side here. I can see that it didn't quite touch the top. There we go. It cleans it up a little bit. So we don't want to apply too much heat, or we don't want to touch it for too long. Yeah, that looks pretty good there. Touch it one more time on the side here. Yeah, just to make sure it butts up against properly. Okay, yeah, so that looks good. So we're going to clean it up. Some rubbing alcohol here and a Q-tip. And then what we'll do is we'll plug this into the system and show you what it looks like. So there we go. All right, I'll show you what the LED looks like in the system. Okay, so it's going to be 2 videos in one. This is the system I modified the front panel LED to green, as you can see it there. And this is the stock fan with added green LEDs. So you can see them in each corner.